What are the top 5 best weapons currently in Splatoon 3? Before we start, let's go over the rules. This list was made during version 9.1.0 of Splatoon 3, so things might change in the future. This list considers all multiplayer versus modes, those being the 4 ranked game modes plus Turf War. This list also focuses on solo play rather than playing with a fully coordinated team. Lastly, only one kit of a specific weapon can be on this list. Not that that changes anything. With that being said, let's start the list. Number 5, Splatoon Stamper. Holy fuck is this weapon hard to play. I'll be honest, that's part of the reason why it's only number 5 on this list. Most of the people you see online using this weapon suck ass, but for the few people who put the time into this weapon, goddamn is it rewarding. The main weapon can already do so much. Adding in a burst bomb and a zip caster just makes this weapon insane. Burst bomb combos super well with your main weapon, while zip caster combos super well with also your main weapon. In fact, this is probably the best main weapon to be paired with Zipcaster. You have perfect accuracy in the air, you have a large amount of range, and you deal enough damage with your vertical flick to combo with the indirect hitbox of Zipcaster. This weapon has more potential than any other weapon in this game, if only it wasn't so fucking hard. Number 4, Splattershot. Arguably the most brain-dead weapon on this list, I still felt like it deserved to be here. Why? Fucking Zuka spam. We all hate this thing, but that doesn't make it bad. Zuka has moments where it single-handedly wins you a game. Combine that with the fact that you can easily get at least 5 of them per game, and it becomes obvious why winning with this weapon isn't exactly difficult. The other aspects of this weapon are also pretty solid. Your main weapon paints well, kills fairly quickly, has good accuracy, and most importantly, is a shooter. Shooters are super mobile and are generally much more flexible than other weapon classes, especially if that shooter also has a bomb, which this one does. The only reason it isn't higher on this list is because of how insane the next few weapons are. Also, fuck Zuka, if you use that special, I hate you. Number 3, Sniper Rider 5H. Arguably the best weapon when playing with a coordinated team, yet only the 3rd best weapon for solo queue? Yeah, it turns out it's hard to carry with a supportive backline. Sure, this weapon is definitely overpowered, but it can get screwed over by bad teammates. If your teammates suck ass, what's the point of buffing them with cooler? Carrying with any weapon other than a frontline is surprisingly difficult, which makes it even more impressive that this weapon is even on this list. But I mean, come on, the thing is the ultimate backline. It paints a shit ton, it outranges almost everything, its damage combos well with most frontlines, the kit is nearly perfect. Sorry, Sprinkler fans. I mean, there isn't really anything wrong with the weapon, the only reason it can't be higher on this list is because of the backline. Still, the fact that this weapon is this high on the list should tell you just how balanced it is. Number 2, Slosher. If you've ever fought against a good Slosher player, then you know how crazy this weapon is when you learn how to flick your shots. You don't really have to aim, you kinda just flick your shot forward and watch as people die. This weapon doesn't have the fastest kill time, but the way that your shots travel more than make up for this. You can easily hit people hiding behind a wall or under a ledge, which makes this weapon pretty unique. Similar to Stamper, this weapon is difficult to get good with, although it's definitely not as tough to learn as Stamper. In terms of its kit, Splat Bomb is amazing, seeing as the 30 damage explosion combos perfectly with the 70 damage from your sloshes. But what if they have a sub-off bomb defense? Shut the fuck up and pretend that doesn't exist. Triple Ink Strike doesn't have much synergy with this kit, but that doesn't change the fact that the special is really strong right now. The only bad thing about this weapon is that it isn't a shooter, meaning it isn't as versatile as certain other weapons. Other than that, this weapon kicks fat ass. Before I reveal the best weapon, let's go over some honorable mentions. And I mean very honorable mentions. This list was super difficult to make because I couldn't decide on which weapons to actually put on this list. Just know that these weapons were all super fucking close to being on this list. Mint Decapitator. Okay, this weapon wasn't actually close to making the list. The only reason it's here is because it's kinda like Stamper, except it's way easier. Stamper is definitely better though. Splat Dualies. This thing has an awesome kit and a very solid main weapon. But dualies are dualies, meaning there are a lot of weapons that shit on you the second you do a dodge roll. Squeezer. This weapon would have been on this list if it weren't for the nerfs to its range and mobility. Even after those nerfs, this thing is a powerhouse. It just struggles a bit with paint and special outfit. Okay, back to the list. Number 1, .52 Gal. Yeah, this one was kind of obvious. This is currently the only weapon to have hit 5000 X power. It's also one of the only weapons on this list to have never received a noticeable nerf. I guess that's one of the benefits of being the producer's favorite weapon. Thanks, Nagami. Seriously though, this weapon feels overtuned. It can paint a crazy amount. It can kill super quickly. It's a shooter, so it's super mobile. It can use Splash Wall to essentially extend its range. It can spam a special that helps it get in. This weapon is the ultimate Swiss Army knife. Whatever your team is lacking, this weapon can fill that hole. You have the tools to deal with nearly every weapon in the game, provided you're blessed with good RNG. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention how shit this weapon's accuracy is. That's part of the reason why this thing is annoying to use or go against. Sometimes, luck just isn't on your side, causing you to miss every shot like you're in the fucking Matrix. Still doesn't mean the main weapon is fair, it's complete bullshit, but at least it will sometimes miss. Yeah, that's the main downside for this thing, you can get unlucky. It's like gambling, except you usually win. And who doesn't love gambling? And that's my list. Let me know how bad my opinions are, or what other lists I should do in the future. Until next time.